scheduled race at the Talladega Super Speedway, as we have just 6 races to go on the season. Not going to be able to clinch the championship tonight, a little bit early in the year, but the hope is to score enough points through today and through tomorrow night at Martinsville that we can clinch the championship following tomorrow night's race at the Paperclip. And obviously still 4 races to go after that race tomorrow night. But if we can clinch the championship early, we can move on into the Busch Cup Series seasons on a more regular basis. And the Truck Series season for the final one on NASCAR 7 will be complete. Coming in with over a 400-point lead for the second consecutive race, Ted Musgrave, who had won 5 in a row before last night, coming off a 3rd-place finish at Las Vegas. Bobby Hamilton Sr. was able to get his first win of the season in that event. We were leading, had a couple of late cautions, including a green-white checker restart. Unfortunately, spun the tires on the restart from the lead, was not able to get the win. And last lap pass for the win for Bobby Hamilton, and we fell from 1st to 3rd. Still have not won on a 1.5 miles, and obviously have not won on a super speedway in the Truck Series yet, so hoping to do that for the first time here today as well. Finished 30th in the season opener at Daytona. That was the only super speedway / restrictor plate race we've had so far this season. So hopefully all goes well in this one. We'll see what we've got for qualifying to blimp the air pressure up. I could probably still do that a little bit more. But all I could do to really try to free the truck up without it beating too free. Maybe consider taking some wedge out of it. But knowing we're going to have a lot of 2-tire strategy calls, I don't know if I'm going to do that at least right out of the gate. So I may make some adjustments throughout the course of the race. All about putting a very good qualifying lap together first. And so far for Ted Musgrave, it's looking fairly quick. Through the tri-oval. First. I'll take it. On the pole. Here at Talladega, let's get into this. Bobby Hamilton Sr. starting 2nd. Got the good luck jersey on tonight, as Wade pointed out in the chat. Green flag in the air, and we are racing. Right off the heels of what was probably the most competitive race of the season last night at Vegas. A thriller throughout. We'll see what tonight brings at Talladega. I would imagine we'll have another thriller yet again here today. Hamilton trying to control the start here. Little contact, which knocked one truck a bit sideways, unfortunately. And Bobby Hamilton on the outside after starting 2nd, going to get to the lead. See Todd Bodine in the 30 truck jumping down to the bottom of the racetrack. Bo Phillips on the outside. Phillips, after a couple of races where he finished outside the top 30, had fuel problems yesterday, ran out in the middle of the race. An engine issue the race before that, drops from 2nd to 5th in standings after last night's event. Musgrave running 3 wide middle here at Dega. Off turn 4 most of the way down the front stretch. Trying to stay in the draft of this 191 truck of Bo Phillips, while Bobby Hamilton leads the way at the front of the field. And Musgrave on the bump draft to the back of the 191. And Bobby Hamilton, by the way, goes from 5th to 2nd in the points after last night's win. So Phillips dropping from 2nd to 5th. Hamilton going from 5th to 2nd. Quickly back into 2nd for Musgrave. Oh, Phillips, I think, hit the wall off turn 4. Slowed himself up quite a bit, and a big run in the tri-oval for Musgrave as he'll take the lead on lap 2. So just like last night at Vegas, we didn't lead the first lap from the pole, but we led the second. We're going to go out here. We're going to try to lead as many laps as we can here this evening. Ryan Berwick, thanks for tuning in. Doubleheader for games. Yep, Wings playing tonight. Good day in the city of Detroit. All at home, too. That's big. Musgrave, Hamilton, Hornaday, 1, 2, 3 at the front of the field. Oh boy. I didn't think Hamilton was actually going to get to the outside there. Luckily, Hornaday did not go with him. Otherwise, I think he would have had a good enough of a run. And now they're side by side for second place, and Musgrave can't block both lanes at once. And so, middle of the back straightaway, Bobby Hamilton looking for the lead. Oh boy, little contact. Things got a bit sketchy there with these three trucks. Slowed their momentum down quite a bit. Not as much for the 18, though, as he takes the lead. We had an accelerated pit window in our full race at Vegas last night, which is very interesting. And I'm not sure exactly why that is. It's 2 races in a row that we've had to pit earlier than the rest of the field. Still was able to salvage a top 5 out of it. And now, as you see here, battling back and forth with this 18 truck for the lead in the opening laps. Musgrave's got some speed tonight. We don't usually see that on the super speedways out of myself in the truck series especially. The qualifying out on the pole, it tells you how much single truck speed this 9 has. And now up towards the front here in the early laps as well. Musgrave doing his best to mirror drive with the 18 behind him. Top to bottom, bottom to top. Pack of trucks that got stalled out after Bo Phillips hit the wall from the outside of second place on lap 2 off of turn number 4. Is slowly starting to catch back up to these top 3 trucks that really broke away from everybody else. Took some time on lap 7, but they're definitely closing in. We'll clip of the apron, middle of the corner there by Musgrave. That's going to slow his momentum down on corner exit, but he does stay in front of the 18, back to the outside, and here comes Hornaday. Down on the bottom of the racetrack. He looks for a run. Musgrave down to block the 33 on the inside. It was a major block at that. Lap truck on the bottom of the track going a lap down. Caution free still in the early laps here at Dega, and it looks like we're going to have an accelerated pit window for the 3rd consecutive night. I was wondering if this was going to happen because we had an accelerated pit window in the Busch race at Talladega, so here in the truck race at Dega, it looks like we're going to have the same thing. Not in the Cup side, but in the truck and the Busch series. For some reason, this racetrack, we have to pit more often than what we typically would. So it looks like we're only going to be able to go maybe 16 laps on a full tank. Phillips is catching up. He's in the 4th place position. Oh, that was not good for me. That was a big mistake. That's going to cost Musgrave some momentum. Had plenty of room on that outside lane. Hamilton didn't run him tightly, and now these top 2 might break away from the rest of the field here. And the 9's going to have to try to find a way to get back into it. Well, it looks like pit strategy is going to be huge again here today. I think the Tigers are going to win tonight. We'll see. Oh, wow, that was a big moment there. I didn't realize he was blowing up. I saw him pulling down to the bottom of the track, but Ron Hornaday from the lead blows an engine. Saw Bo Phillips from the lead run out of gas middle of the race last night, and here tonight, Hornaday blows a motor. Came into the race 6th in points. Pretty big gap between himself and to get inside the top 5, and that's not going to hurt him, in fact, or help him. That's going to, in fact, hurt him. And They fall even further behind in the standings now. Yeah, I'm hoping Detroit pulls it off tonight, close out the series, and don't have to linger into the weekend on Saturday back in Cleveland. Even though we've got the best pitcher in the league going back on the mound, don't want to have to rely on him because we did have 8 scoreless innings against us when he was pitching. We didn't get the run support, so that could happen again. You never know. And gives up just, one more run than he did in that situation, it's over. So that, and we get the ability to keep him for game 1 of the championship series if he doesn't pitch Saturday. That could be huge too. Oh, Bill Lester blowing a motor now as well. Down on the bottom of the racetrack. So 2 drivers blowing an engine in the early laps here at Talladega. And 2 of the top 10 in the point standings as well. Top 6, in fact, if we narrow that down a little more. Musgrave trying to get that 9th win of the year. Like to get the double digits before the season's up. Like to get that super speedway win here too. That'd be huge. Because not that I need a confidence booster for the championship side of things, but pretty much got that all but locked up. Bobby Hamilton stuck through on the outside and actually led that lap at the line, but he didn't have enough help to clear on the outside lane, and Musgrave down into turns 1 and 2 is going to take that advantage back. Hamilton off the exit of the corner, gets that run. He's coming right back for Musgrave again. Musgrave clear. Let an even amount, it seems like, between ourselves and the 18. Tom Bodine, who started up at the front of the field, he has fallen back, it appears. Ethan, thanks for tuning in. Musgrave leads at the line. 105 truck on the inside. Musgrave trying to side draft back. Getting very close to our first pit stop of the race. Probably going to pit at lap 15. I don't think I want to go any further, than that. Honestly, with the accelerated fuel window, I was already, even if we could go a full run, going to go right sides, left sides, and alternate during the pit stops. I could probably get away with going fuel only on this first stop, and then go right sides and then lefts on the second and third stops of the race. Lap 14. .105 back on the outside. Bo Phillips down on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to draft up in line behind Ted Musgrave. Phillips won the season opener at Daytona earlier this year, so he's trying to go 2-0 on the super speedways. Definitely looks quick in the early laps. I'm going to pit this time. I'm not even going to go 15 laps because I've been flashing red for quite some time and still speeding. I have the worst problem with speeding on super speedways, and I don't know why I'm so aggressive coming into the pits. Just goes to show how hard it is to get the truck to slow down. It wasn't by much. 72 miles per hour is what I saw at the commitment line, but the speed limit's 70, and Musgrave is busted for speeding. So even with going fuel only, we're really not going to pick up much time, if any at all. Ashton G, thanks for tuning in also. Yeah, this race is definitely not going to be done before the start of the game, unfortunately. This is as early as I could have started, though, coming back from work. Musgrave down on the apron of the racetrack here, trying to get up to speed. At least with the fuel-only stop, we will stay on the lead lap. In case we were to see our first caution of the day. And we do have more trucks on pit road on this lap. It's about 14 to 15 laps. That's what we're looking at per fuel run. And again, it was fuel only for the 9 truck. We'll see where he cycles. Hopefully we don't lose any positions with the pit road speeding penalty, but we're definitely not going to be able to increase that gap like I wanted to post pit stops. We had trucks running out of gas at Vegas with this accelerated pit road yesterday. Led us to having 3 cautions because of it, and then we had 2 wrecks in the race, which resulted in a 5 caution event through 250 miles. And here we go. We've got a caution now. For the first time today, yellow flag is out on lap 16. And it is the 103. I thought it was a 105. Oh my goodness. Down into the inside wall. Back, just barely missed the pace car, by the way. Then back across the track, it's nailed by the 108 truck from behind. Hood flies off. 103 truck is done. And with the caution flag out, Musgrave can stay out of the pits and cycle back towards the front of the field. We still got trucks in front of us here. Green flag back in the air, and they're running out of gas on the restart. It ran out of gas on the restart, but we are still green, and Musgrave ran right into the back of the truck in front of him. It checked up quite a bit. Now the caution's out. Caution is out well after the fact. Our second yellow. Back-to-back yellows. Spin there by the 116. Probably ran out of gas. We're going to have a lot of DNFs today, aren't we? Back-to-back days, we had a fuel mileage issue. Yesterday, we had 9 trucks that had problems with this and or engine failures. We've already seen probably half a dozen that are out of the race up to this point. Stay out of the pits again and hope for the best. That mixture of lap trucks with the first caution coming out in the middle of green flag stops. You see Bobby Hamilton, who has led quite a bit in the early going. He is still out there on the racetrack, but a lap down. Green flag back in the air at Talladega. And Ships in the 151 is our leader. Had a top 10 yesterday at Vegas. Musgrave quickly pulling to the bottom of the track, but a little slow with the acceleration on this restart. Just trying to hang on for third and not lose too much track position. So these 2 cautions in the middle of our fuel run after pitting under green. Definitely going to lead for something a bit interesting. 3 wide up in front of us off turn 4, right around where the leaders are at. Two cautions already in the race. I think we're going to have a lot more where this came from. So it's going to be tough to guesstimate how many pit stops are going to have because if we ended up, say, going green that entire first fuel run and not got a caution like we did, and let's say we went caution free the whole race, to be able to go 94 laps, pitting every 14 to 15 laps, we're looking at having to pit about 6 or 7 times, but now it's looking like we're not going to have to pit as many times just because of the caution. We'll be able to save some gas. Well, I definitely want the Royals. I think Royals would be a better matchup for Detroit. Detroit and Kansas City kind of have a similar team. I wouldn't say the case with New York. I think New York's definitely the best team in the American League. Especially with who's left. Funny if there would be just 2 trucks left. I mean, we may see that. I'm going to make sure that I don't run out of gas. We played it safe that first run. Pitted maybe a lap earlier just to be safe. Worked out for us. Got back into third. Ship's no longer leading. 178 truck is actually the one out in front right now. Musgrave just staying in third place, really. Trusting himself as the lead truck in this group. They're catching Ships in the 151. And now Musgrave's going to draft with him that he has caught him. Try to bump draft and get to that 178 truck. Halfway through the fuel run now. Big time bump draft all the way down the back straightaway. And even through the middle of turns 3 and 4, definitely got to make sure you're squared through the middle of the corner. It's a risky spot to do that in. Here's a run for Musgrave down to the bottom of the racetrack, and not only he's going for second, but he is going to go for the lead. And at the line, he does lead this lap, not by much. Fastest lap of the day, 49.592, that last lap for the 9. Bobby Hamilton trying to stay in the lead lap in case we catch the third caution. Get himself back into this race. Still side by side for the lead as Musgrave could never clear that 178 despite leading that last lap at the line. Holds on to second, middle of the back straightaway though. Trying to get a run at Jackson for the lead again. Big block by Jackson. Basically blocked himself into the wall there. Musgrave made the room underneath him. There clearly was room. Didn't shift his line after getting to the inside, but Jackson did. Now Jackson falls out of the top 2. At least, maybe even further back than that. After making contact in the center of the turn 3 and 4 wall. Not sure if that truck on the bottom lane is a lapper or not. That was definitely a Musgrave there. That was a squeeze play and a half on Ships to the outside. Lap was led by Musgrave, and that truck on the bottom was for position. Get to the lead now. Straight fades just a bit. Another slow truck, it looks like, down on the apron of the racetrack. Headed off into turn 3. Tough to tell who that is exactly. Side by side for second. Musgrave trying the outside lane. Little side draft on the 151. It's a fight to try to get the draft off of this truck up ahead. I can't tell what number font that is. You guys let me know in the chat what number you think this truck is in front of us. I can't tell these graphics. I can't tell if that's a 184 or 194. Can't tell what that middle number is. It could be a 134. There's the run off turn 2. Musgrave back to the point. Having to pit one more time than everybody else? I don't know. It depends on how many cautions we get, because obviously we've been able to go past lap, 27, 28, which is where we would have had to pit if we didn't get any yellows. So we definitely saved some fuel during those 2 cautions. Musgrave finds himself out in the lead. We'll be staying out of the pits this time by also. Walking back and forth right now. Musgrave just trying to hold on here out in front of the field. Oh, 3 wide for second off turn 4. Oh, not anymore. Now they're 2 by 2. Stewart gets to the outside for the lead. At the line, he does not lead that lap, though. Check another one off for Musgrave as he's trying to get the most laps led here tonight. Oh! Not clear on Phillips. I can't get out of my own way now. Sounds like a good time for me to pit. It's not speed this time. Kind of got bailed out with that caution earlier. All right, that was a lot better pit road entry. Didn't really lock the tires up either. We're going to go no tires here. Fuel only again. Truck that just pulled out of the pits, I think, is going to be a slow truck, according to our crew chief. Lost the lead, fell to 5th. No speedy penalty, so we should get an advantage this time with the fuel only stop. More than we did before, at least. I'm glad I wasn't pulling up out of the pits when that guy came across. That would have been terrible. That was a catastrophe waiting to happen. So we're the last truck on the lead lap outside of Bobby Hamilton, who did get out ahead of the leaders. We're still ahead of him. So 23 trucks are on the lead lap from where we're at right now after that opening caution. Only a few trucks out of the race as of this moment. Every Green Bay player is questionable for Sunday. I mean, that's sports. Football, I should say, specifically. I mean, you go down like almost every lineup in the NFL, and you're going to see like 5 to 10 players questionable like every single week. You got to figure there's 53 men on a roster. There's more than 30 of them that touch the field every single weekend. And it's a brutal sport, so. A lot of those guys, you just mentioned, probably going to be, I don't know. I mean, it depends on the extent of their injury, I guess. A lot of those guys did play last weekend with similar injuries. All from last week, yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially when you get hurt this early in the year and really any sport, when you're early in the season, you get injured, even if it's a minor injury and you can play through it, you're going to be dealing with that all season until you get fully healed. Unless you take the time off to get fully healed, or, you just suffer through it and you heal during the off season. There's Ships in the 151. We just passed him. Cycling off of pit road. And there's our third caution, probably for somebody else running out of gas. Just like the first two were. The very first one we had, though, caused an incident. Oh, not like that. That was Josh Berry. It looked like a Josh Berry crash. Upside down and sliding into the inside retaining wall head on. Only did a complete barrel roll. Berry just kind of slid on his roof the whole way. That was a gnarly crash for that 110. But the caution flag is out. We'll advance to the race start as you see Ted Musgrave is back in the lead. Still got some trucks a lap down on the inside we'll have to watch for as the green flag is back in the air at lap 41. That's the caution Bobby Hamilton needed if he didn't pit yet. Hard to tell if he did or not, but if he did, oh no, he is still a lap down because he just passed us. Well, that's a tough break for Bobby. Going a lap down there. Block on ships. I wasn't sure if there was anybody underneath me, so when I saw him go low, I knew there was an advancement down to the bottom to be had. It's going to leave the outside open. Just kind of struggling to get up to speed here today. Kind of similar to yesterday at Vegas. Maybe a little more so, though, in this one with it being a super speedway race. That lap was not led at the line by yours truly. Oh, yep, definitely a truck there. Contact to the outside for the 178. They'll get to the lead. I think we're 3 wide middle. Yeah, I think we are. Yeah, I sensed it. That truck that was in the rear view wasn't the same one from the back straightaway. Way to hold a steady wheel. Oh, truck up against the wall there. Ships off of turn 2. Rusty Cleveland, that's a name right there. Is that Deshaun Watson's new nickname, Rusty Cleveland? Oh, geez. That's weird that I was the one that got in the wall after bump drafting in the corner from behind. I didn't give me a score update. It's not like you're going to restart it from the beginning. Just update the score every inning if you don't mind. Appreciate that. Oof. Drive to the inside. Trying to find a way back to the lead. That was an aggressive block. But it was one way to get back to the lead as Ted Musgrave's out in front again here at Talladega. 50 laps to go in the race. Still the same tires that Musgrave started this race off with. Through 2 fuel-only pit stops. Yeah, I know the first pitch is until 6:08. Getting there, though. 2 more minutes. On to the bottom of the racetrack. A block there also. Musgrave tries to hold on to the lead. Has to be the fastest super speedway truck I think I've had. They continue to try to keep it clean as much as we can. You're just tuning in. We've had 3 cautions, 1 flip, no big one. Couple of single trucker 2 truck incidents so far. Ted Musgrave trying to hold on to the lead as best as he can down on this inside line, side by side for the moment. 178 up on the outside. A lot of fantasy drivers up towards the top of the field. It's kind of been that way for most of this Truck Series season. It has been the season of the fantasy drivers outside of Musgrave. And now Bobby Hamilton, who after his first win at Vegas last night, moves himself to second in the standings. Phil Lester with an engine failure, as well as Ron Hornaday, may move Bo Phillips back up to fourth in points if he has a solid night, which so far he has. He's led some laps. We'll see if he can capitalize on a good finish, so we don't see him up in the running as of right now. Maybe he has a third, fourth finish in a row. Maybe he runs out of gas like he did at Vegas. I'll have to wait and see. What a battle up here at the front of the field. And Musgrave again down to the bottom. Bobby Hamilton getting slowed up by Tingen in the 126 truck, who is off the pace. And out in front of the field again is Musgrave, and he also puts Bobby Hamilton a lap down once more. Hamilton trying to get back at him for the lead, but couldn't. And there was contact on turn 4 between the 18 and the 9. Another slow truck that we're creeping up on. Probably catch him here in turns 1 and 2. That really stacked up the field of trucks. David Reagan in the 6 is the next one. Plenty clear down to the bottom. A little bit past the halfway mark here today. 2 laps past halfway. 3 cautions total. About to get our third pit stop of the race coming up with this accelerated fuel window in a full truck race of 94 laps, 250 miles. The original Truck Series distance at Talladega. Remember, this year it was short to 85 laps. This would have been the length of this year's Xfinity Fall race, but not the case. That was shortened as well. Gonna try to go one more lap. We'll wait until lap 51 to pit. Musgrave stays out this time. I think I'm going to go right sides only on this stop coming up, as we will be pitting this time. Left side still going to stay on the car from the start of the race. Oh, out of gas, middle of the back straightaway. Musgrave does not make it all the way back around and loses the lead. Well, never mind. It looks like it's fuel only again. Gosh darn it. That's what I get for risking it. It's tough to gauge when you can only go about 14 to 15 laps on a full run. It's usually when it starts flashing red like that, you got about 3 to 4 more laps on a super speedway, 4 or more depending on if it's a smaller track than that, but I didn't even make it one full lap. On to pit road. Fuel only to try to stay on the lead lap, because that one truck that did get by to the lead, I think it was Stewart. Not Tony Stewart, but the fantasy driver with the last name Stewart. Not spelled the same either. This one's spelled S-T-A-U-R-T, and Tony Stewart is S-T-E-W-R-A-R-T. One other truck down on pit road with us as well. Gonna cycle off, lap 52. Well, still on the same tires we started the race with. This is on the old Talladega surface, by the way. Oh boy. Was going to go high to try to pass him. He went high early. And it passed down to the bottom of the track into turn 3 instead on the slow truck that was getting up to speed as well. But Musgrave getting to speed a little quicker. Got some other trucks on their way to pit road. 41 laps to go at Talladega. Next time fuel goes flashing red, yeah, pit that lap for sure. That's what I did the first 2 times. I figured I could go, 1 lap extended beyond that, but, apparently not. Live and you learn. I don't think it's going to end up costing us any. Yeah, I was going to say, because I was expecting us to get another caution before everybody else cycled through. We only had a few trucks pit there. Caution flag is out again, our 4th yellow of the day. And it looks like it ships in the 151. It is a wild ride to the inside retaining wall, I'll tell you. Every time these trucks run out of gas. Still too far out to tell how many pit stops we could potentially make it on gas to the end with. So Musgrave stays out of the pits again. Still a long line of trucks that haven't pit. Bo Phillips behind us. So we may have trucks running out on this restart. With that being said, oh, yeah. I saw one truck pull down to the bottom. We're going to... Oh, big hit. Big hit. Into the inside wall. Was trying to dodge trucks. And the Walmart truck got us. 187 gets turned around. There's some heavy damage for the number 9 of Musgrave. Caught up in that one. Our 5th caution of the day. Innocent bystander. Oh, dang. Can't pit for fuel or tires being involved in the incident, so definitely going to have to come down and repair that damage. I don't know where we're going to cycle out of the pits and all this. We might still cycle towards the front. Wish while we were down here we could take fuel, but not going to be able to do that. There were some trucks that stayed out, but I don't know how many of them were actually on the lead lap. Looks like a few. I think we're in 3rd. 2 trucks on the lead lap stayed out. The others were laps, or a lap down at the very least. And we still got trucks running out of gas. Another restart, running right into the back of the 178 again as we stay green here at Talladega. No caution. At least not yet. Might have a trio of yellows in a row here. 178 truck is pulling away. Real life people put tires. Well, okay, so the reason why I don't is because I do feel it's an unfair advantage, because with the video game, you don't pick up as much. Really hope the truck isn't hurt too significantly following that crash. That's why I don't do it. Because if I would have gained positions out of that, I would have felt it was an unfair advantage. Where if we were actually involved in a crash in real life, we'd be coming down on the pit road like every lap under the caution. You know, trying to stand on the lead lap, but also coming down multiple times. They only really have the one chance to do so. Try to make it more realistic in that side of things. $30 to go. Well, hip check from the inside. Bump trap to the 163 truck of Simpson. Off into turns 3 and 4. He moves to the bottom. And back to the top as soon as he pulls clear of Musgrave again. That 178 truck got well out there on this restart. It's getting a little too aggressive with the pushing. Teammate Todd Bodine right there. He is a lap down. I think after that incident, I don't think this truck's got the same speed it did. The 101 Walmart truck got the best of us. I knew they were going to run out of gas. I guess in hindsight, the smart thing would have been to just back way out of it. The tough thing with doing that is you don't know if you're going to get a caution for them running out of gas, because we didn't get a caution that last time on this last restart. But we did, obviously, in that crash that we were involved in, where if you just get out of the gas and there's no caution, you're going to lose the pack when we're at the tail end of it like we were. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation just being that far back to begin with. Surprised they stayed out of the pits just to end up running out of gas again anyway, honestly. Lap 68. We know this thing isn't done yet. Gonna have to pit 2 more times. And we'll definitely be the next one to pit road here within a few laps. I'd imagine the rest of the field's going to have to pit 2 more times also. Have to wait and see exactly when they end up pitting. And now that I'm further off the lead, I think I'm going to have to go fuel only again. I have not changed tires this entire race. I'm surprised they have as much life to them as we've had. I know we've had 5 cautions, which probably equates to about 15 caution laps, but it's still over 50 laps on both the lefts and the rights. I would expect the lefts to probably hold on this long. I'm surprised the rights are holding on as well as they have. Again, that's not the reason we don't have the speed we had earlier in the race. I think the damage to the race truck following the second to last caution Well, I guess technically it was the most recent caution, that 5th yellow from the 4th caution restart. That's what's costing us right now. Big bump draft on Scott Lagasse Jr. all the way down the front stretch and into turns 1 and 2. Lagasse going to run the outside, so Ted Musgrave stays in line right behind him. So he has that drafting help. Currently running 5th. I mean, we're still having ourselves a solid day. We've been in the top 5 the whole race, really. Trying to watch that fuel indicator. Just went flashing red off turn 4, so we'll stay out this time, and we'll pit the following lap. So the plan will be to pit this time. Musgrave saving a little bit more gas this run, being in the draft pretty much the entire time versus earlier in the race when we've led most of the race. Pull down to the bottom of the track because Musgrave will be pitting. So he'll be pitting from 4th. Perfect timing there. Right as I was going to be letting out of the gas. That's right when we ran out anyway. Good pit road entry. Still had to back it up quite a bit. And again, another fuel-only stop. Saw that truck on the track map. I wanted to make sure he got by before I got back out onto the race surface. 23 laps to go. So again, we are outside that pit window. Honestly, if we get another caution, I think I have to top off. Try to get even that much more closer to the end, just in case we get the slew of yellows. Be interesting to see how much further we'll go before we get another caution. I would imagine that we're not going to stay green to the end of this race, and we will get at least a 6 yellow, maybe more. Now we just got to ride it out until the caution comes out. And if for some odd reason we don't get a yellow this time, then we'll ride it out until we cycle back all the way through green flag stops. I didn't see exactly how far off the lead I was. We were just getting into 4th place as I was pitting. But obviously the leaders were kind of staggered out from that last restart with drivers running out of gas again, but not getting the caution like we had before. Really, it was the first time we didn't get a yellow or something like that. 21 to go at the line. Honestly, now that I'm back at 17th, we're definitely going to have to go splash and go when we pit again. I think even if we got a yellow like right now, though, we're still outside the window. I'd have to hope that everybody else would be too. I mean, man, it'd be tight. I still think we'd be a few laps short. I went 14. I maybe could go 15. Got 20 laps left this time by. We get back-to-back yellows. I think we could save enough there and make it with topping off under that said caution. Last truck on the lead lap. Currently in 17th. Stewart to the lead on the back straightaway. Strategy is definitely all over the place for the second consecutive night. Even though we had to pit before everybody else and pit twice versus once in the New Hampshire race, it was still kind of straightforward. But these last 2 days, they've been really weird. Don't think we'll see this in the next race tomorrow night at Martinsville. But again, if Musgrave walks out of here, could have a chance of clinching the title tomorrow night. Scott Legacy Jr. to the lead. Some trucks on pit road, that time through the tri-oval. 19 laps left, 18 for the race leader. Seen the lead go between 4 different drivers over the last lap or two. The 109's out in front now. Middle of 3 and 4, getting by Legacy Jr. Legacy nose back out in front at least through the tri-oval. 4 trucks onto pit road through the tri-oval that time as well. And once the leader hit that line, we now have 17 laps to go. Keeping an eye on that again for if we see another caution looming. Truck trying to get up to speed. Bottom of the racetrack. Caution is out. That would have been a position. There was a couple more up in front of us yet as well, but the caution came out before that. And it will be for the 131 spinning after more than likely running out of gas. Backs it into the inside retaining wall. Caution number 6 here tonight at Talladega. And we're definitely going to have to top off on fuel. I don't think we're going to get all the way to the lead from where we're at, 15th. Yeah, 15th when the caution waved. Almost got to 14th. That truck's definitely going to be staying out. Mixed bag. Some are pitting, some are not. Fuel only going to try to gain as much track position as possible here for Ted Musgrave on pit road. This may be the final caution of the night. It's definitely going to be really tight on fuel to the finish. I'd say we're probably in the worst spot for fuel. Although there are trucks staying out, so you'd imagine that they'd be worse than us. But we could see another caution right off this restart because we have had back-to-back yellows a couple times. Not every time we've had this situation, but a couple of them. And Musgrave will restart in 4th. 1 truck out of gas on the restart. Stacking everything up. That was a big hit to the back bumper there. Musgrave was kind of jammed in there. Couldn't pull clear. Stays in 3rd, though. And we did stay green. 13 laps to go at Talladega. Somehow staying green through all that. Two truck getaway at the front of the field. And a drop to 4th place. 2.8 seconds off the lead already. I got stacked up big time after running in the back of the truck in front of me. I mean, no lap trucks down the bottom. We could have tried to swing to the inside and accelerate by him, but in that situation, we just kind of ran into the back of him, and that was that. Pushed them forward, knocked me backwards. I DVR in the game? No, I don't. I'll just watch it live. I knew I was only going to miss the very start of it. Yeah, I just can't keep up with these trucks in front of me anymore, unfortunately. I damaged the truck way too much in this race. Those couple hits into the back of the trucks in front of us on these restarts haven't helped. And if we don't get another caution the rest of the way, it's going to be tough for Ted Musgrave to find a way to win this thing. Back in the 8th place position now. There's a chance the trucks in front of him don't make it on fuel to the finish. Musgrave going with Scott Lagacy Jr. Gets 2 positions back on the backstretch that time. Drafting his way up to 6th. Found some speed there. A lot of ground to make up. Lagacy runs the bottom, though, in the middle of the corners. Musgrave's got to be willing to try to stay with him. Musgrave bump drafting all the way down the front stretch again. He continues to go with Lagacy, but Lagacy couldn't make a pass. Couple moves being made. Back straightaway. Musgrave goes all the way to the top of the racetrack. Finds his way to 4th. Slow truck on the bottom in the 110. Massive shots there to get him up in the running order a little further. And that truck in front of him moved down to the bottom of the track, or at least towards the middle line in the center of 3 and 4. Didn't stay all the way near the wall. So many fantasy trucks up here, and they're not the usual fantasy trucks that we would see up at the front of the field either. 3.3, 3.4 seconds off the lead. Didn't mean to get to the outside of that truck. Also didn't mean to clip the apron when I did. I'm losing Fletcher. I messed that up. Find a way to get this momentum back again before we lose too much ground. It's going to be tight. He's drafting off a Legacy, and he's pulling away just a bit. I don't know that those leaders are going to catch the really slow trucks or not before the finish of this race. If they do, I'm not ruling this thing out yet. I don't think Musgrave's done. I don't think any of these 4 trucks that have lost the top 2 or 3 are done. Should say the top 2. Maybe 3rd place of the 4th in line of these 4. Scott Lagacy Jr. and Ted Musgrave, the only formidable names here at the front of the field. The game sound is off. Let me know in the chat if anybody else is having that problem. I kind of don't want to pause it in the situation we're at right now just because we're so close to the finish. I don't know what would have happened with the sound. Middle of the corner. That was an aggressive move. Somehow didn't lose too much draft to this 121. .3 seconds off the lead. Tight on fuel still to the finish also. 6 laps left. Back into 4th. Got to stay nose to tail. Got to continue to bump draft. And got to make sure that we hit him square every time we bump draft. That was not square. I'm going to lose him. Going to lose him again. He pulled up off the bottom, and I didn't lift. And I hung up on his left rear. Five to go. Back to 4.4 seconds off the lead. Lost 2/10 that lap after losing the truck in front of us. Almost makes you wonder how much time we were gaining before that down the back straightaway. The leaders are going to catch that pack of slow trucks. And, I mean, it's a pack. It's a mini pack. You could see it on the track map. That was a bad bit of contact trying to make that block. How long is it going to take for them to get around them is going to be the question. Because this time by at the line, even after losing more momentum that last lap down the back straightaway, we're going to be even further back now. 6.2 seconds. We lost about 2 seconds that last lap. More contact on that back straightaway. Slow trucks have been caught by the leaders. Middle of the back straightaway. Still tight on fuel to the end also. Down to 3.5 laps to go, but we're not guaranteed to make it. 126 truck is still slow. Entering 3 and 4 for Musgrave. Front of the field, they're still out there quite a ways yet. How much time will be gained? Musgrave with a push into the tri-oval. But now the question is, did they get all the way around him? It's a 4-second lead, 3.8, 3.7, 3.5. Lead got cut in half that last lap, but can't tell if the one leading the field is clear or not. David Reagan slow back straightaway. 2 positions going to be gained by Ted Musgrave. More time being gained middle of the back straightaway now. Up to 3rd. Gotta pass these trucks clean. To the outside on the Walmart truck. Oh, big block. Truck is trying to pit. Gotta get back up on the racing surface. Wow, that was a dodged bullet by Ted Musgrave. That was a bad time for him to pit off turn 4. Trying to race him all the way down to the bottom of the track. And now up to 2nd. No, that's a lap truck. And Bo Phillips is the one slow. 2 to go. Can the leaders make it on gas to the end of the race is the next question. The top 2 trucks on the restart stayed out of the pits. Those are the 2 out in front of the field. That is worth noting as we get to the final lap. And no cautions on the final lap either. Musgrave should make it. I passed him below the double yellow line, but to be honest, it wasn't for position because it was a lapper pitting. So I don't, even in real life, I wouldn't have gotten penalized for that. I'm drafting down the back straightaway, trying to find a way to get to this next truck up in front of us. It's like there are more slow trucks that are going to be right in front of the leader again, but I don't think it's going to be soon enough, unfortunately. I think we were maybe 1 lap away from having a chance to win this race. Musgrave is tight on fuel to the finish as well here. Can the leaders make it as they work their way off turn 4? Musgrave has pushed as much as he could. Now he's going to go for 3rd in the center of the tri-oval down to the bottom of the track. He's going to get that. Checkered flag waves. Back-to-back third-place finishes for Ted Musgrave. We gave it a run tonight. We gave it a run. Zach Van Dyke gets his first win of the season in the 139 truck, a 2.1 second margin of victory in this weird race at Talladega. Led 12 laps, gets the win. We led 23. We actually led the most laps. 2 nights in a row. We led only 38 at Vegas out of 146. Led the most. I led only 23 of 94, but still was able to lead the most today as well. From the pole in both events. Starting 34th, though, to get the win, leading 12 laps for Zach Van Dyke. Congratulations to him. R. Stewart finishes second. Again, our driver, Ted Musgrave, leads the most laps, finishes third for the second straight night. That has been the case. C. Fletcher in fourth. Scott Legacy Jr. led 3 laps, finishing fifth. Wilson Eubanks, 6th. T. Golson in seventh. S. Vincent, 8th. Our teammate Todd Bodine did finish 9th on the lead lap as well. And T. Jones rounds out the top 10 as we ended up having 11 drivers finish on the lead lap in this one here today. And we had so many drivers who had fuel issues. Ron Hornaday, Bill Lester, W. Tucker, Chris Parker, D. Grant, Spencer Claiborne, George Tinkin, Jay Thomas, Bobby Hamilton Sr., David Reagan, Rusty Cleveland, Spencer Carswell, Jay Ships, Timothy Peters, George Teague, Bo Phillips, H. Jackson, C. Vance, and Jay Mitchell. That's insane. We had 19 trucks. Well, then T. Bell and C. Simpson, I think, towards the end of the race, too, had to pit because they ended up finishing 3 laps down. But I think they still... That might have been because of pit stops during the race and having the cautions in the middle of green flag stops and why they finished 3 laps down. So I won't include them in that. But, yeah, we had almost half the field. Actually, over half the field. 19 of the 36 trucks in tonight's race had fuel or engine issues here tonight. 1 hour, 59 minutes, 43 seconds total time of the race. 2.1 second margin of victory again. 6 cautions, 38 lead changes, 125.3 mile per hour average race speed. We will take a look at the points standings. You know what? The game volume was muted the entire time. Why didn't anybody let me know about that, like, early in the race? I had the game volume muted the entire race. So when you said the game sound went off, it was off the whole time. I never unmuted it from the main menu screen last night. Oh, jeez. A muted race at Talladega. Adding to the weirdness of the race itself. We have to have a 540-point lead to clinch the championship after tomorrow night at Martinsville. It's possible, as we have a 510-point lead after Dega tonight, getting back-to-back third-place finishes and having a 510-point advantage. Parker's 544 back, so as long as I beat him in the finishing order, I have to beat Bobby Hamilton by 30 points. 30 points I have to beat Bobby Hamilton by at Martinsville tomorrow. Well, you said something with like 8 laps to go in the race, but nobody said anything the first like 88 laps before that. Yeah, I didn't catch that. Because my TV is unmuted, so, you know, I have the sound. But obviously you guys didn't have it in the chat. And the viewers watching. Well, I'll make sure that that doesn't happen again. All right. Yeah, that's going to wrap it up. Again, they got to gain 30 points over Bobby Hamilton to clinch the championship tomorrow night at Martinsville. And we'll get back into the Busch and Cup Series seasons to follow. We did have a Cup race earlier in the week, but more consistently as we work our way through this NASCAR 7 playthrough. Have a good rest of your night. Be sure to hit the like button again if you haven't yet. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I'll see you back and better than ever again tomorrow night. 6 p.m. Eastern, we'll start the Martinsville truck race. Can't wait to see you then. Go Tigers, everybody. Go Tigers.